All right, everybody, it is 8:30. We're going to go ahead and kick it off. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are doing a customer deep dive. This is the power of Microsoft-Centric IT service management solutions. So thank you for joining. We'll be doing introductions in just a second, but just did want to point out that there is the Q&A tool. If you have any questions, please drop them in there. We'll be happy to answer them as we go along and answer some of those live and with our customer this morning as well. If you're having any problems seeing or hearing the deck or the content, just go ahead and let us know and we will help you. All right, let's get started. Today, we're going to be sitting down with 98 Ventures. We'll be introducing them and bringing them in just a few minutes, but we have Haley Keel and Josh Mingus from 98 to talk about their experiences in how they have set up a service management solution and grown from a homegrown to using Tikit and why it has helped them to provide a better experience for all of their employees across the organization. My name is Stephen Rose. I am a veteran from Microsoft, spent 15 years leading IT pro readiness for Windows and Teams, Office, OneDrive. I'm also the Chief Technology Specialist for Petri.com and the host of Unplug IT, petri.com/Unplug IT. And I'm also a change management adoption specialist for my own company. So thanks for joining us today. Let's jump in. And I thought it would be great to start with a little bit of a quiz this morning. So we're going to bring up a poll. And that is, if you could give everybody and every user in your organization 5 hours back at the end of the week, how would they want to spend it? How would you spend it? Take a moment, drop in whatever answer you feel best describes what you would like to see. And let's see what folks come up with. We'll give everybody a moment and see what folks have to say, but you should see the poll. Yep, there we go. Ooh, a lot of different answers coming up. Love it. Nobody yet trying to sneak a nap. I find that interesting. So, all right. So our number one answer is knock out that to-do list. Absolutely. Catch up on email and brainstorm are right there. Doing research is also very high. The bottom line is, and this is interesting, is you can go from a reactive mode to a proactive mode to help move yourself forward. Some interesting studies I wanted to share about staying in the flow of work and how important this is to end users. U.S. employees change through an average of 13 apps 30 times a day. That switch only takes 2 seconds, but when you add that up every week, that comes out to hours and hours of time that users lose by having to move back and forth. And that time is not just in physically switching between those apps, but going, what was I doing here? What was I reading? What was going on? Not being able to stay in that flow and have everything pop up in one place. Microsoft did a study as part of their Work Trend Index where they found that 1 in 3 employees found it difficult and time-consuming to find the information they needed within their own company. I found a great survey, McKinsey Company survey, found a 65% increase in satisfaction when employees could manage and track everything from service requests to approvals. And that functionality goes up when it's done inside that app where users are spending most of their day. So we keep seeing this over and over and over again. This is why integrated apps inside of Microsoft Teams are key. Now, folks are going, I thought Teams was an app. Well, it is, but it's also a platform. And I thought we'd take a minute and explain the difference between an app, a plugin, and an integrated app. So let's take a look. So first of all, unlike Slack, which is an app, Microsoft Teams is a platform. Why? Well, it supports things like message extension and self-aware tabs. You can add bots to it, meeting extensions to bring in third-party tools in your meeting, from everything from translation, transcription, etc. You can bring in webhooks and connectors. Of course, the Graph Power Platform is part of that. Adaptive cards, that card that when you roll over somebody's name, it gives you all that information about them, their org, documents they've been sharing. You can add task modules that can be used to track projects and assign tasks. Of course, the low-code, no-code apps through Power Platform, and that interconnectivity across that Microsoft 365 ecosystem, meaning Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Loop, Copilot, et cetera, are all part of this. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about a platform and staying within that, within that Chrome as you work through the day. So there are about 2,000 apps in the Microsoft Teams App Store. That's the store when you're in Teams and you go to that bottom left-hand corner, you click on Marketplace, it shows you all of the apps. Now, it's important to know that there are basically 3 types of apps. So I mentioned this earlier. The first one is what we call a tabbed app. So that is basically a website. You create a new tab inside of a channel, you add a website, and now that website is right there for everybody to use. So that's a tabbed app. Now, there's no integration between the information in that tab and what's happening inside the team. It's just a simpler, easier way for folks to get to that information. Next, we have an extension. An extension brings some functionality of the app and the platform into Teams. So for example, we can use Adobe Sign. Adobe Sign, meaning when we open up Acrobat, we can click the Adobe Sign plugin that will launch. You can then sign that document inside of a Teams meeting, but it is still sitting above Teams, but it can be used inside of Teams in real time. You'll also find things like third-party poll tools or things along that line that you can use in a meeting. Finally, we have a fully integrated application. These are critical. This is stuff like DocuSign, SurveyMonkey, Brainstorm, SAP, and Tikit. And what this does is it allows you to bring chats and calls and meetings and documents, the projects you're working on, into a single interface. Now, while built for Microsoft Teams, Tikit has a fully comprehensive offering designed to work how and where your employees work. So if it's in Teams, great, Tikit's right there. If it's in a web app, email, even on mobile, there are those different ways to get to it. And as IT, the goal has always been to allow employees to stay in that flow of work while you get the most out of your investment. So the Tikit app, as I just mentioned, consists of multiple Teams applications. We'll talk about virtual agents and our triage and ticket solving with our guest today, 98 Ventures. So with that, I would love to have Haley and Josh turn on the cameras and mics and join us to talk about what they've done and how they're working with the product. Good morning, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. Haley, take a moment and introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Haley Keel. I am a data analyst with 98 Ventures. I work very heavily with all things data integration and Power Platform, and also been working very heavily with implementing Tikit and the automation side. So I'm really excited to be here to talk about it.
Awesome. Josh, let's have you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Josh Mingus. I'm the Director of Information Systems at 98 Ventures. So I oversee all of our day-to-day IT activity. So Haley and the rest of our data team, as well as an in-house application development team and frontline IT support for our organization, which has locations kind of all over the country. So having something that works for everybody, to your point, Stephen, where and how they work is critical for us.
Awesome. So you were using some homegrown software. You had kind of an ERP system. It was not that robust, not that flexible. But the part that I really liked is you were starting to think about workflows. How can we make HR, onboarding, electronic forms better, and that employees like to see the status of things where they're at. Josh, you had a great quote, and it was, we felt from an IT standpoint, we have a piece of homegrown software that does all of our client invoicing. It handles contractor payment side, but you needed visibility and enhanced user support. So how did you get to that point? When did you go, look, we've reached the max for this and we need to start looking at solutions?
Yeah, we had developed a lot of Power Platform-based workflows that helped out the teams processing transactions. It did not, we got a lot of questions still, those teams did, as far as where is the status at? We have a lot of approval workflows. wanting to see, hey, who is it waiting on? How long have they been waiting on that? So really, as we implemented more and more workflows, the traffic of those types of requests increased. So we said, great, how can we go take this to the next level and find something where those people can get answers to that on their own?
Great. So Haley, Josh brings Tikit, and you are looking at this too. What was the selling point for you? When did you go, I think this is going to be a good solution for us and help us to make a difference?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things was the Power Automate built-in connector. So like Josh said, we had so many, Power Automate workflows previously. So being able to implement Tikit, not only just the application itself, but also, working it into our existing workflows was really a big selling point. I mean, we could implement and go live with Tikit in a matter of weeks. And that's implementing about 20, 30 automated workflows.
Wow. And you also, and we'll show this in a little bit, also were able now to build a dashboard. Talk a little bit about the dashboard and what that does for your teams.
Yeah, so our company heavily uses Power BI. Another big win with Tikit was the already curated Power BI data set, which came with all the data from our Tikit application. And so we were able to create a dashboard in Power BI showing all of the metrics that we needed for Tikit, but also we were able to combine the Microsoft approvals that we had already been using and match them up with the Tikit within Tikit. And that way we could give users a view of the approval and the ticket associated and kind of where it was in the process. And that would give users outside of the Tikit visibility to where it's at.
Got it. Users hate when you move their cheese and you change anything. So this is for either of you. How difficult was it to get people on board with a whole new system that was, different than what they were used to?
I think we had a pretty easy time with it because of the way that Tikit allowed us to plug into existing Power Automate based workflows. So we were able to actually create tickets from those workflows already. So they can go to the chatbot in Teams, they can go to the web portal, they can create tickets that way, but they can go to those same electronic forms they're used to using and create tickets as well. So we didn't really disturb, if they already knew where to go to get help, they can go to the same place. We didn't really interrupt that at all. If they wanted to just stay in Teams and ask for help from the chatbot, they can get it there too.
Well, let's take a look. Why don't we go ahead and start up a demo? So Haley, I'm going to turn it over to you. And I think we're going to start with the end user side and kind of what folks see. So why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah. So this is the requester side. And as you can see, it looks a little bit different than normal. That is one of the things we loved about Tikit was we could brand the virtual agent to, really correlate with what it's supporting. So the homegrown software, billing software that we use is UST app. So we named our Tikit virtual agent UST bot to just kind of link those two things in everybody's mind in the company. So to start, since this is a billing software, one of the things that I want to demo is a rate change request. So that is, I'm going to just go into Tikit virtual agent, and as a requester, I'm just going to type in, I need to change a rate. And then what that's going to do is we have inner knowledge base, a trigger to spit back a custom form that we created within Tikit. This is also associated with a automation, or sorry, a template that will auto assign this to the correct person and support team. And so that way the agent automatically gets this alert and can immediately take action on it. So I'm just going to say I need to change create.
Now this works from mobile, from web, right from inside a team, so nobody needs to go do anything new or search for anything new, correct?
Exactly. And I'm about to go over to the agent side. So as you can see, it created my ticket. So I'm quickly going to go over to the agent side. And
So there's
you
that.
can,
So there's that instant status for end users. They know it's been done, and I'm assuming as it goes through this process, we'll see that status change. Correct?
exactly.
Got it.
So I created
Okay.
the ticket. I'm back over to the agent view. So as you can see that template automatically assigned it to this agent. And as you can see that is right here. So what I'm going to do as the agent, I'm going to act like I went ahead and fulfilled this request. So I'm going to say this has been done. I also want to go ahead and change the status to resolved, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to view that ticket so that I can see the entire information. I'm going to go ahead and modify it, change it to resolved, and hit OK. This has been completed, and then hit send. So
And I
what
love
that's
the
going
fact that you have a send and add to KB so that if something new happens, you have a way to add that to your knowledge base and not have to go, what do we do with this weird orphan thing, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been getting a lot of different requests for different things like that. And so that's really been a great way to know what our users would like to see out of Tikit Virtual Agent.
Awesome.
So as you can see, I just switched back to the requester view, and you can see that it's been changed to resolved, and that comment has been added that has been completed. So as a requester, I can see that has been completed, and I haven't even needed to leave Teams.
Awesome. And I do want to remind our audience, if you have any questions on what you're seeing or how things work, feel free to drop them into the Q&A and we'll answer them for you live during the webcast. Go ahead, Haley. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So the next thing I wanted to do is, we talked about already having different workflows that were already, implemented prior to Tikit. And one of those is going to be, so a lot of them are exception workflows. The one I'm going to do is an advance request. So pretty much what that is we could give advances for many different reasons. That has to go through an approval. So what that's going to do, they're going to say, I need to submit an advance. It's going to spit back a link to that same Microsoft form that everybody has always been able to see. I'll just kind of, and we'll go there. I already went ahead and filled that out, but so we didn't have to do that previously. So what I'm going to do is view that ticket that I had already created for the advance request. So I'm going to type in view tickets. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me, oh, sorry, I closed it out. Sorry, view ticket 3134, because that is the ticket that is my open ticket for the advance request. So I can either view tickets. It's going to give me all of my tickets that are open. If there's not, it says I haven't created any request. If I know the ticket number, it's been closed, as you can see. I can just type in that ticket number and it's going to give me all of the information. So as you can see, this advance request was submitted, and we'll see the full conversation, because what this is once the advance request was submitted, it will automatically from Power Automate let you know that it was created with all the information from the Microsoft form. It will also send it to the person who needs to approve it. Once they've been approved, it will also automatically update the ticket that it was approved. It's going to a second approval. The request was denied, so it will go ahead and mark it as denied. The requester will get that information, and then it will automatically close the next day. And this is all without an agent even touching this ticket. But it does allow the user to be able to know exactly where the ticket is and the approval is, no matter, never having to go to the agent itself or going and typing an email.
Scroll back up for a moment. I want to point something out that I thought was interesting. When you were doing your search, keep going up.
Yeah.
When you typed in, where was it? Yeah, I need to submit an advance, and it found advance request. How are you setting that up? Because people are going to use different words for different things. So how do you make sure people are able to find what they're looking for?
Yeah, so the knowledge base has been really easy to use and set up. So, I think we've gathered a lot of different phrases from the people who were actually getting a request. So we went to accounting and we said, how are people, requesting this? How are they actually
Got
the
it.
words that they're saying? And that really actually helped us to include the different phrases and synonyms. Synonyms was a big thing, but also just being able to load in multiple phrases because so many people use different languages.
All right. I'd like to take a look at your dashboard. And while you're bringing that up, Josh, I wanted to ask you, what was the feedback like when you first launched?
Yeah, the feedback that we got was really positive. We got a lot of requests for these kind of things, like you just mentioned, Stephen, actually, as far as people started engaging right away. They started asking all sorts of things that maybe we hadn't already built a workflow around or hadn't had our knowledge base yet. And being able to easily add those things, which we can actually even do right from Teams as well, as you pointed out earlier, was super beneficial to us. So as we got more and more engagement, people asked for more and more details. We were able to tie in other links to frequently use, whether it be a document, a form, just general questions about policies, things like that. We were able to start including links from and get more and more information to the end user very quickly and without having to really disrupt the administrator or agent's workflow who is working on those requests.
Awesome. And now, the other thing, Haley, before we jump into this, is as part of that, the KB also uses natural language processing to help bring that forward too. So it looks at different variations on those words, which really helps you to expand the vocabulary and allow people to feel comfortable. Talk to us about this dashboard. I love this. When you showed this to me a few weeks ago, I was really, really impressed by it because it puts a lot of information and allows you, again, to go from that reactive to proactive by looking at trends, things like that. Well, we just lost it.
Yep, so
We'll bring
sorry.
that
I'm
back up.
having
That's okay.
It completely froze on me, so
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
Well, we'll give you a minute while you're doing that. Josh, let me ask you, were there any surprise insights and things as you started using this dashboard that came up that you were not expecting?
Yeah, one of the things that we found a lot of benefit from being able to measure easily just by looking at ticket metadata was when people are actually going and submitting requests. So Haley mentioned earlier, a lot of these things get directed to our accounting team. They might be some variety of exception. So we're actually able to see, it looks like Haley got the dashboard back up here. You can actually see that ticket count by created day of week visual was really insightful to us because we have some deadlines in our business where certain things have to be submitted, let's say by Tuesday or Wednesday evening at 5 p.m. Well, we can see here that a lot of people are submitting things on the day that they're due or the day right before they're due. So we're able to then proactively go remind people earlier, over the weekend, the week prior, to make sure to get those things in before deadlines. That's visibility that probably existed somewhere in our Power Automate workflow before. But just by looking at the native Power BI connector, seeing what we wanted to build out around ticket reporting, we got some immediate insight I don't think we necessarily expected to find just from looking at when people are usually opening requests.
Right. And that allows you to really understand when the people who are managing all these tickets are going to be underneath the most load, what to expect, when you may need more agents, things along that time, or as holidays come up, to make sure that you're pushing before those dates so that there's plenty of times to get through. Haley, what else did you see as you started working with this dashboard?
Yeah, so really the ideas that I got off of the pre-built that I got from Tikit, that really helped give ideas, and also just knowing kind of what we were really looking for and trying to confirm. So, we have this. We also wanted to give just as much visibility to the leaders of where their team's requests are at. So as you can see, and also how long they've been open. You can really see, like how many are getting older, but that could be for many different reasons. That's why we have the types. The biggest thing that has been really helpful is the pending approvals and tickets waiting on requesters to reply. So a lot of times, just to give that extra visibility, a user might not know that, a assignee or an agent replied, they might have gotten that. But of course, with everything going on during the day, multiple people have access to this, so they can, help follow up and get these tickets closed out. Up here is what I referred to earlier, connecting those Microsoft approvals to the ticket.
Mhm.
So as you can see, the agent's name, the requester, this is all from the ticket, but down here, these are going to be the actual Microsoft approval. So I pulled those in and related it back to who is the approval is being assigned to and how long it's been open, so we can keep it.
And that's all sortable and filterable and all that other good stuff too.
Yeah, we can look at, ticket type, category. If we're looking at just pure statuses, waiting on others, we can do all of that really easily. And we also refresh this hourly. So that's another big thing.
Yeah.
The refresh time is so efficient.
Awesome. Now, how long did it take to create something like this?
It really didn't create that, or it didn't take that long. A lot of the Power BI, lift is the modeling. So the setting up that data set, with that already being set up for us, we just had to add extra data sources that we use for us. And it was really seamless from there. We kind of knew what we wanted to look at. So we already had all that information. It probably took about a week, maybe max, just getting everything together. And that's just with the normal workload outside of that.
Got it. Yeah, I would just add to that too, that all the users in Tikit are based on somebody's Active Directory profile or their 365 profile. So we don't have to introduce or connect any data for departments or job titles or anything like that either where we want to see it. So that is not only beneficial from a reporting build out time, but even just an implementation time. We're keeping track of good data within the ticketing system. As long as you've got the right information in Active Directory, it all kind of moves through pretty seamlessly.
And is this something, this setup here that you can also view from mobile, or do you have to be a desktop to really be able to do this?
So you can view it from mobile. Depending on, the kind of phone and everything, it could be a little wide, or you want to do it horizontally. But
like an iPad or something like that would work well, things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can also, so Power BI has a different setting to format specifically for phones. So you can create the same page, but actually fit all the visuals to a phone space. So you can get that aspect ratio correct.
We have about 3 or 4 minutes left. So Haley, I'll start with you. What was the biggest takeaway for you in switching? Because anytime you switch software, there's always apprehension, there's fear, and something's going to fail and users aren't going to be able to, it's a myriad of things. When things go right, nobody gets thanked. When things go wrong, they're knocking on your door. It's like being a mother. So what was your takeaway from this and the experience in moving over?
I think, a really big win was that visibility. I mean, the amount of times that we've gotten comments of just being able to have all of that information, not having to track it down, not having to email, find the right email to reply to. I think that was a big win. The implementation, I think that was just so easy, and really the knowledge base. I think also being able to have all of our other users want more out of it and be able to ask more questions from UST. But I think that's been a really big win, being able to try to expand the usage of Tikit.
Wow, that's awesome. Josh, same question to you.
So I think my biggest takeaway through this process has been showing ROI kind of from day one. Like as soon as we turned it on and people got the additional visibility, a lot of people were saying how great it was, giving us excellent feedback around having things that they'd wish they'd had for a long time. And then the other thing was just how quickly we were able to move with this. So we were maybe 2 weeks from making a decision to implement to having our first workflows up and running and starting to have agents working tickets. So just that speed with which we were able to execute implementing existing workflows, not disrupting people, and providing value was a huge win for us.
Okay, we've gotten a few questions, and the first one is, if there are two apps for Tikit, are there two costs? And the answer to that one is no. It's one cost. You're only charged per agent, so both apps work together with a single cost. But this is a good question for you. Did you need to keep your tickets separated by departments for privacy purposes? And was this easy, to set up within the tool?
Yeah, it really was. So we do have two different teams, and of course we are thinking of adding more, and they are very distinct. So the My Group work and just having it connect to Microsoft. So because the teams are associated with that Microsoft team, it made that very seamless, and we haven't really noticed any overlap as far as the different departments. So that's been amazing.
Awesome. And then I'm going to assume the support sites and all of that gave you what you need. If you needed help, you're able to pick up the phone. Did you find that the Tikit team was responsive, especially if there's features you weren't seeing, saying, hey, this would be really cool to do this, and kind of partnering with them on that?
Yeah, actually, it has been just amazing, the support team. I mean, the response back has been, almost immediate, if you can even do that, and just really always following up on any issues that we've had, and also the roadmap. I think the roadmap the Tikit has been amazing. Me and Josh talk about, different things and different ideas, and, we can easily go to the roadmap and see if it's already been working on, or even, we can like the idea to get movement on it, but also see if it's coming soon. There's multiple things that we've seen that are coming soon that we're really excited about, and then we know we can use almost immediately when it comes out.
We've had pretty game-changing
better than
features
Microsoft's roadmap that shows stuff that never comes out or just disappears suddenly. So yeah. Sorry, Josh, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, we've had major features I think we had thought about or would have asked for kind of from day one, once we got our hands dirty, that have already come online since we implemented it around July. So that's been awesome for us as a customer and as a client of Tikit, to see the things that we do go upvote, or maybe we get our eyes on in the roadmap that we're excited for, actually, to your point, Stephen, come out in a very timely manner. So
that's and it's really nice as the customer to feel very, involved in those things and have our opinion heard. I think from a customer standpoint, that's really nice as well.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank both of you for taking time out. I know things are busy, and as much as this app has made things easier, there's always still a lot of work to do. Before we close out today, I want to remind folks that they can try this for free, 14 days full functionality, by going out to Tikit AI, that it's not just chat and email, but has these dedicated portals and is going to work how and where your employees work. And as you've seen, and being able to stay in that flow of work, that's really critical as we do this. So Josh, Haley, thanks so much for joining us. And from everybody at Tikit, thanks so much for spending time with us today. We'll hang out in case you have any other questions, but have a great day. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.